Okay, I'm on steer point 7. This is going to take me out there straight at where we just were. And then it'll just be, boy, now I've got to get into the air-to-ground mode here. Okay, so steer point 8 is the next steer point. Let me step on up to it. Got F-15 contacts, tornado contacts off to my right. Okay, so let me take it out of autopilot again. Bring it around here to the left. I just got to watch out for the farms, which will be just off to my right. And I need to go ahead and contact this JTAC on 144. Okay, VHF AM, let's go ahead and check in for F4 infield 81, check in for 30.
Field 81, this is Hog 211, A-10, Papa Bravo 1958 at 6,000. I have AGM 65D, AGM 65K, GBU 12, GBU 38, rockets 1,150 guns. Time on station is 0, plus 30 was available at 1, with the GCI is now.
Okay, it looks like Ford is on station. This is another F-15C flight that's going to be covering us. Colt has taken down the center GCI, and also Dodge 1 and 2 are off of their targets. It was an early warning radar and a GCI bunker. So that has squared itself away. I just need to get in there and see if I can locate this column that I'm supposed to take out of artillery. Here we go. Hog 1 ready to copy. F1.
Ready to copy. Line is as follows. 1, 2, 3, NA, 6,000 feet, MSL. Column of...
And I'm just jotting this stuff down, especially the coordinates on a little notepad here. Okay, and I can enter those coordinates and create a waypoint if I need to, but I think I'm going to get more data here. Okay, I'm ready for remarks, F1. Okay, I've got no name out here to the left. My container is out there got about 3 or 4 miles to the left. I got the farms out here. And this is where I was looking at holding, right in this area.
SA-10 southwest, 35 nautical. Final attack heading 1010. Wind 107 at 3 meters per second.
Okay, gotcha. And I'm glad I caught that. I didn't have my Mavericks line powered up. I meant to do that as I was pushing in. Okay, AGM 65D, SA-10 out there at 10 nautical. So I'll have to, well, just like in the F-15 mission, I guess, I'll have to play this a little bit safe here and stay masked by the terrain. If I pop up too aggressively, yeah, I've got SA-10 troubles for sure. I'm going to be clear all the way out to the FIBA and possibly a little bit beyond. The FIBA is this ridge right here. And I'm expecting the targets up there a little further. Did I miss something there on the radio? Okay, I've got to give them the read-back. There we go. So, let me see. This is about as good. If I'm going to pop up and look out there in this direction, I've got to do it now, outside the SA-10 range. Okay, data coming in. Okay, and on my TAD, I've got the red marker. Okay, that'd be the target location right there. Let me go ahead and hook that. I'll make that my speed. I'll even go as far as putting a mark point down right there. Mark point alpha. Okay, let me acknowledge that, Wilco. So this should be the column. Acknowledge the message. And yeah, there we go. Got everything backed up. I'll just wait for these Mavericks to align. For now, though, let me go into my pod, slave it on over to that location and see if I can spot something here. Okay, I've still got... Okay, I can push... Actually, let me put it into a right-hand bank. Okay, there's the location directly up my nose right now. Okay, if I put it into a bank right here and just let it hold me in, this should be fine. That's where okay, I've got dust out there in the distance. Okay, column on the road right there. Looking around for other threats. I've got something smoking right there, possibly like an SA-19 taken out by one of the Uzis. Looking up here further to the north. Okay, I've got no other targets in that area. Okay, so that's that. Okay, still in the right-hand bank. I'm still clear of the farms. I should be okay on this heading. Okay, RWR. Okay, I've got the SA-10 back to my left. F-15s out there in the distance. Okay, no threats. Alright, now let me go for a target search right here as I'm turning sort of cold and away from these guys. Okay, that was the road. Let me continue north. Okay, there's the column. Right there. Now, let me think about air defenses. This is where I wish I had my wingman, because I could rely, while I've heads down like this, for my wingman to be calling out stuff defenses, aircraft, you name it. That's just an APC, I believe. This is way north of the column. I'm just looking for other air defenses that I'm masked. I'm going to have to pick this up as I come around. Yeah, I'm going to remain masked for another 20-30 seconds here. Okay, so still clear of the farms. Okay, this is making a whole lot of sense now. Okay, I've got the column down here around Mark Alpha. I was just looking a little bit north, further up the road. And I'll be able to pick this up again here in just a moment. Okay, and I'm still a long ways out. I'm still 15 miles out. So it's not going to do me a whole lot of good to look in there visually. Let me check on my Mavericks. Okay, my Mavericks are warmed up. And okay, here we go. Now this, and yeah, I'm going to have to wait this out another few seconds. Okay, no hurry. I've got to clear this area and make sure that I'm going to be okay to go in there before doing anything. Just checking on things real quick. Fuel state 6800 is still fine. I'm extremely low, or I'm actually out of flare, which is not good. Boy, I needed flare for this phase of it, but yeah, I couldn't not use them before. Okay, still good on the container. Okay, now let me get back in here and look around and know that I had two other vehicles, or one other vehicle right up here that I wanted to scope out. Okay, and that's just an APC, no threat. Or I think it is. Okay, there's something smoking. Okay, APC. That was an SA-19. It was on fire there. That has been destroyed. Okay, this is the last group because, yeah, I need to get back onto this target. And on this pass, okay, I did have one more thing right out here. Let me see what you were. Okay, APC. Let me go back to wide. Let me get on this column. I want to roll back in and take them out on this pass, or start to take them out. Okay, I've got those first vehicles that I was looking at up there. Okay, let me scope out this column. Just artillery, as briefed. I've got trucks. More trucks. And even more trucks. Okay, gotcha. Now let's go ahead and come in here. I'll just sort of lead it a little bit and just leave the pod right there sort of on the road. I could try for a point track on that vehicle, but I'm not going to. Okay, now Mavericks. Okay, I've got, let's see here. How do I want to do this? Let me go back to the pod. Make sure that I have this as my sensor point of interest. Okay, targeting pod sensor point of interest. You go ahead and slave this first Maverick over there. I'm using the K model first. It doesn't really matter for my purposes against artillery. Relatively thin-skinned. I'm still a little ways out, okay, but let me go ahead and go narrow. And as soon as I get in here a little bit closer, I'll be able to take this shot. So I'm going to take a Maverick shot on this lead APC. I'm going to do this just using the, just trying not to get too focused on the systems. I want to keep my head outside and looking around as much as I can. I've still just got the SA-10 contact out there to my left. I just want to take this shot, and since I was seeing stuff out here, let me, now that I have the time, clear myself visually to the left. And boy, this is really, really where I wish I had two to call missile launches out for me. I got a smoking, probably SA-19 out there. Okay, so that's it. Okay, that's the plan. Go in, take out this lead vehicle, then off left. Okay, let me ground stabilize. Let me bring it up here, see if I can get it to lock. A little bit too far out, as expected. 6.6. Okay, that should be good. Ground stabilize. Okay, roll it out. Come on. If I can't get the lead, I'll take anything that I can get. Okay, pushing in closer than I wanted to. Okay, got a good lock on the lead vehicle. Okay, that's a good shot right there. Okay, 4.4 or 4.2 miles. Let me dispense, come off left, and that should at least get them slowed down. Okay, still looking good on RWR, still looking good all around. And as I come off, I'll turn down the volume on the warnings there. I thought I did that earlier a little bit. Okay, that is a RWR contact A-15, no threat. And just need to back out and, yeah, look back in there. So let me bring my pod back up. Let me go to, in fact, let me go actually use the systems here. I'll go to mark points and I'll go to mark Z. That's going to be the last place of weapon impact. Slave the pod over there. Okay, I've got visual out there just beyond this little ridge. Okay, they have dispersed. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take one more AGM-65 shot, and I'm not even going to try to use the pod. I just need to roll back in like right now and send another AGM-65 in while I'm set up here. Okay, so let's go for the D. Okay, there we go, AGM-65D. Just roll back around. I'm just going to put the marker in the HUD on that location and then go heads down into the seeker. Okay, visual off my nose. Additional vehicles right below me. I've got to be careful on this heading. Okay, continuing. Just got to glance over there to the right because I did have something set up right there. Okay, let me slew. Okay, now with my Maverick selected, let me go ahead and slew on over here, and I'm just going to start to pick out some artillery. Let's go narrow. And you're looking good, 2.9. Let's take that shot and come off left. And then just back off, and let me see what I want to do from here. And I intentionally sort of didn't bring CBU 97 or CBU 105. Those would be optimal just to throw some CBU in there, but I wanted to, you know, sort of put myself in this position. Okay, gotcha. So at least I know that I'm on the right column now. Yeah, maybe. That actually might not be a bad idea. I wanted to, you know, I was wanting to get into, you know, putting myself into this situation to figure out, okay, if I only have JDAM and GBU-12 and I'm in a low altitude situation, how am I going to manage this? So let me first select, I'm just going to try JDAMs first. So let me go ahead and select the JDAM profile. So I've got 2 bombs. And what I really want to do is come out here, hold momentarily, pick myself out 2 good targets, create mark points for those targets, and then roll in, fire off 2 JDAMs on 1 pass on pre-selected targets. So, okay, I think the best way to do this is going to have me in a right-hand turn. Okay, this will give me a little bit of time here to get into the pod and get this target, or these targets that I want, selected. Okay, and I should be clear out on this heading. It was only to the north that I was looking a little iffy. Okay, so let me go for mark point Z again. Just leave the pod over there to have another look. And the pod's going to be masked by the A9 pylon, in fact, for another few seconds. Let me get into a little bit of a steeper turn. I'll try to make this quick. Now, let's go ahead and look in here and figure out what I want to take out. Can go wide so I can get a broad overview. Okay, there's the column. You go narrow. Yeah, I don't like the heads down. Okay, let me create a mark point. I might get lucky and take out 2 right there on that 1. And you look like another one. Let me create a mark point right there. So I have 2 mark points selected. Let me go ahead and make my steer point, my sensor point of interest. And I'm going to go, instead of mark Z, I'm going to go to mark, you see, it's going to be Bravo and Charlie, and these are the 2 that I'm going to drop on. Okay, so still got GB38 selected. What I'm going to do is come in here low. I'm going to pop up, turn right, drop my 2 JDAMs, hopefully on both of those steer points, and then go off. I'm going to have to go off right. I've cleared myself for threats all the way, well, not too much further than this. Okay, so let me see if I can make this work. Okay, mark Bravo first, then it's just step up to steer point Charlie and mark point Charlie and drop that one. Okay, so let's come around, pop up. And it's just going to be roll out and drop, then off right. Okay, roll out. Okay, roll out, I guess, a little bit further. I was expecting a little bit more range out of these JDAMs. Okay, so first drop coming up. Okay, 1 weapon away. 2 weapons away. Off right. Well, obviously, yeah, Mr. J-Tac. Okay, coming off. And let me just use this terrain to mask a little bit. I've got some ground fire coming at me. Let me go ahead and move the aircraft around. Okay, I've got 1 impact out there that I saw, and I'm definitely out of flare. I'm just sort of dropping chaff out of habit here. I wanted to have some flare in the air just in case there were some man pads or any kind of like a shoulder-mounted IR-guided SAM thread in there. I can't tell if those JDAMs did anything or not. I'll have to Well, you'll be able to see. I'll have to go back and check the tape on that one. Okay, so I'm just down to GBU-12s. So let me go ahead and select my GBU-12 profile. I already had this set up, so I won't be able to drop 2 if I wanted to on one pass. But I, at the very least, can do something with these, and this will have to be... Actually, I might just go for a completely different target right now. I've taken out at least 2 artillery pieces. Now, let me see if there's... I hate to be predictable and go after the same exact spot, but... I think I'll do it, but because I just don't have anything else to attack right now, unless I wanted to go north a little bit further. So let me go ahead and get the pod back over into that area. I'm just going to pick out just a random artillery piece right here. Okay, and I've got point track on this guy, and that's going to be the one that I dropped my... Acknowledge that note, the one that I dropped my GBU-12 on. I'm going to probably just drop 1 GBU-12 and then get out of here. Because I'm sort of pushing my luck here. Plus, I'm way past my volt time.
Pull up, pull up.
So this one's going to be, come out here. Boy, I've got to remember that I had some threats over here. Yeah, I'm just going to do a straight in. Just run straight in on these guys, pop up to a reasonable altitude, drop the GBU-12, and then come off to the left. I don't want to push it up too high for fear of mixing it up with that SA-10 sight. I've got a CCRP invalid for some reason right here. Okay, there we go. I'll pop back in. Okay, so I've got 2 miles. Okay, let me pop up. Ah, son, I've picked a bad angle. I can see I've got 6 seconds to release. Okay, bomb away. Dispensing. I don't want to turn too aggressively lest I lose the track. I don't want to be too predictable either. Laser firing. Okay, come on, give me a hit. I don't know where that impacted. It's kind of risky doing this as a like a loft attack like I was trying to do with that GBU.
Target is not destroyed. Cleared to re-attack.
Yeah, thanks, buddy, obviously. Let me try that one more time. I think,
Pull up, pull up.
Okay, so yeah, I think it just had to do with I was just in maybe the loft, just threw the ballistics for the weapon off so that it never really nosed over and got a good track on the laser spot, or I might have just been masked with my pod, maneuvering a little bit too aggressively. This time, instead of popping up and doing it from a loft, I'm going to pop up early, level off, and drop. And then just sort of, you know, just fly this one a lot more conservatively. And I would have knocked it off a long ago. Probably at the point that I lost my wingman, I would have knocked it off in the real world. But I'm just in sort of the let's play around with different weapons delivery techniques phase now. Okay, let's pop up. Still got a track on that target. I'm going to come around, level. I should be about 10 seconds or so to delivery once I do roll out. Okay, 7 seconds. Okay, depress and hold weapons release switch. Okay, weapon away. I'm just going to maintain level, maybe just a little bit of a right-hand bank. Okay, laser firing. There's no reason this one shouldn't hit.
Target is not destroyed. Cleared to re-attack.
Well, I don't know. This will be a good one to watch the tape on. Yeah, the bomb fell short. I'll figure out what happened there, and I guess it'll be an item for the debrief. For now, I'm just going to take it out here and make my exit to the left. Just watching out for threats. I can't, you know, I am sort of taking it easy here. I know that there are no threats, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the mission designer isn't going to have something pop up or have some MiGs or something show up out of nowhere. That would be just like a DCS design to do that to me. Okay, so, well, final BDA is on my way out. I've got 3 vehicles, well, just 2 vehicles smoking out there. Very ineffective, well, I guess that is 3, isn't it? Very ineffective GBU-12 deliveries. I'm not sure what happened with those JDAMs. It was a good theory, but a lot of times what happens when you try to drop a JDAM on a mark point is that, you know, I'll see if I can demonstrate right here. Like my pod is looking, and I'll see if I can unmask my pod briefly to show what I'm talking about. But yeah, see how my pod is looking at a target, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the coordinates underneath the target are what the pod is looking at. So if I were to create a mark point right now, it would be just sort of looking through the target, and the mark point would be on the ground a little behind the target. And I think that's exactly what happened here. I think they were just a little bit off, which would have probably most likely been good enough for a kill, or at least a maneuver kill, or it would have rattled them around enough that I would have been happy with the result, but I didn't get the vehicle smoking. So I think that is just my preliminary take on what happened with those GBU-38s. And the red over here on my Dismas is just a known little issue with the current DCS build. It's no big deal, it doesn't affect anything. So yep, that is it. I'm just going to clean up and egress right now. I've got the farms out there. Let me go ahead and get out of the mark point business here and go back to flight plan and go ahead and step on up to steer point 11. Actually, it's 10, isn't it? And this is going to take me out of the area, and that should be up here in the direction of Worthington Peak. So 5.5 miles and around this way. Okay, gotcha. So let's go ahead and go for master arm safe. Let's go gun pack arm safe, laser safe. I'll leave the pod up in case I want to play with it as I egress and head home. Yeah, still perfectly clear on RWR. I'm outside of the SA-10 envelope at this point. I have no threats, and yeah, everybody else has already gone home, so that's cool. Okay, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a break here no matter what. Whenever I want to take a break, I just hit escape, walk around for a little while, get some water, or whatever I need to do, because boy, a lot happened there. Air-to-air engagements, different techniques for using different weapons. So I'll be back once I'm a little bit further along and set up on this approach.